It's January 2nd, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today in the Treasury Titans. Michael Saylor is ready for the Matrix. The question is, are you ready for the Matrix? Do you see the Matrix? Are you in the Matrix? Nothing in this video is financial advice, but man, it is going to be a fun year of 2026, in my opinion. Let's dive on into the first post where Michael Saylor wants us to better think digital. That's better with a capital Bitcoin B. Michael Saylor says, better think digital. Let's go, Michael Saylor. You're thinking digital. I'm thinking digital. Let's make this happen. He also wants us to know that Bitcoin makes MSTR interesting. I mean, look at this open interest market cap, 86% for MSTR. The next closest is Tesla. And then you have Meta, which is over 8x less interesting. Meta, NVIDIA, Google, Amazon, Apple. These companies are more than 10x, well, 8x for Meta, 10x for all the others, less interesting than MSTR. Let's just call a spade a spade. And then 100% Strategy says, raising money from Bitcoin derivatives coming soon. So that's what he's reading from this, is that Michael Saylor is going to start making some money from Bitcoin derivatives, much like Metaplan has been doing for quite some time now. Chris says, let's assume you take the view that Strategy is a Bitcoin bank. Banks trade anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 MNAV. This would imply that a 1x MNAV MSTR is undervalued by a minimum of 50%. This is without taking into account its full potential. Banks, I mean, these are the banks we're talking about, are valued and they trade between 1.5 to 2.5 MNAV. And you have Strategy, which has 670 plus thousand Bitcoin. That is the pristine capital of the world. That is the apex predator. That is what they're holding, this Bitcoin, and is trading at around 1 MNAV. This is a generational buying opportunity in the opinion of Chris and myself and many other people who understand this company. And by the way, those who understand this company, truly, few. Luckily, many of you listening are part of that few. And all I got to say to that is, for you. Hunter Horsley says, the deed is done. The 4-year cycle is dead. The market is maturing. Institutional and mainstream adoption are substantially underway. Cheers to a huge year of progress in 2026. So Hunter's part of the Bitwise team, and here he is, pumped that the 4-year cycle is dead. And this is what he posted back in November, on November 16th. He said, here's what I see happening on 4-year cycles. Common view. People believe in 4-year cycles and that 2026 will thus be a down year for Bitcoin. First order effect. People will thus sell in 2025 to avoid the down market year. Second order effect. 2025 sellers cause 2025 to be a down year, thus breaking the 4-year cycles. Third order effect, 2026 is open season. 4-year cycles broken. Bitcoin is currently at plus 2.5% year to date. And of course, it went down from there, which is why he posted in this other post that the deed is done. The 4-year cycle is dead. 2026 is wide open. Zink says, as an MSTR shareholder, I wouldn't hate Strategy issuing equity at 1 MNAV. In fact, I'd encourage Saylor to do so. At some point, accumulating Bitcoin cheaper matters more than short-term accretion. Buying Bitcoin at 87K at 1 MNAV may be far more valuable long-term than buying at 120K Bitcoin at 120K at 1.2 MNAV. The former captures more Bitcoin per dollar of dilution. The long-term thesis is that it's going to 1 million and beyond anyway. We should also consider the flywheel effect. One, Strategy is large enough that they could materially force the Bitcoin price higher if they buy 1 billion worth of Bitcoin every week. 2, this would improve sentiment and allow other Bitcoin treasuries like Metaplan to continue buying more Bitcoin, forcing the price higher. 3, a larger Bitcoin balance sheet gives more room for Saylor and Strategy to issue more preferreds. 4, inevitable MNAV expansion as sentiment and Bitcoin price improves. Now that I think about it, all Bitcoin really needs is 3 or 4 global players to work together to run this playbook, and it's game over. I do not have enough Bitcoin. And BitPain says, so many bitter top buyers. Unfortunately, they are making the same mistake they made in 2022. And just one of these bitter top buyers here, Sunny Decree, aka Clueless, by the way. That should actually be his actual tagline. Wait, just buying Bitcoin with other people's money isn't a sustainable business model? Like, these people literally think they have a fathom of a clue of what they're talking about. And it's so comical. Jeff Walton says, Bitcoin-backed digital credit can and will probably eat 10% of this market. And this is the U.S. corporate bond market cap, which is over $11 trillion. Insane what's happening here. And, you can see right now, Strategy has access to the B-rated ones. So down here, they need to get rated to the triple B rated, which will open up all the way up to 5 trillion. Once they get to A rated, they'll be here, then double A rated. And then of course, triple A is the very, very top. So let's go. Saylor personally lost $2.6 billion in 2025 from MSTR, only to gain it all back and more in 2026. Is Saylor crying? Nah, you're crying about MSTR for the last 3 months. You are emotionally weak as F. Grow up. Strategy Maxi laying down the law. I mean, Saylor has his money where his mouth is. And by the way, what people don't understand is like Saylor's trying to pump his bags. This man is so far removed from caring at this point about pumping his own bags. He has 17,000 Bitcoin. He has billions and billions of dollars of MSTR shares. He does not have any kids. He's not married. There's no legacy. He is literally giving his Bitcoin away. By giving his Bitcoin away, I mean, he's giving it to everybody else who owns Bitcoin by completely burning the keys when he passes. That is his current plan right now. Michael Saylor is well past caring about building wealth because he's already built wealth. He's done. He's looking to improve humanity. He's looking to give individuals 8% returns on their savings accounts through banks. And of course, the banks will be arbitraging stretches 11%. So this is what the legacy Michael Saylor is creating and wants to leave. And so people that think he's just trying to inflate his wealth, they are so beyond clueless because they've done no work. And I have a great Michael Saylor clip coming for you right now. So sit back, relax as we just enjoy 2026.
If you're capitalized on a product like Bitcoin that outperforms the S&P, you're positively polarized to capital. You attract money. In fact, the more money you raise, the more profitable you become, the more shareholder value you create. It's a very simple idea. Flip the polarity from negative to positive, and then you just get stronger every single year, and you'll get more powerful. But as you can see, right, the reason that you can't capitalize on the Mag 7 is the SEC 40 Act. And you can't capitalize on the S&P index because the SEC 40 Act. I guess in theory, you could capitalize on gold. Interestingly enough, no public company has really done that. And the point that I make to the gold bugs is even the gold miners don't do that. And if the gold miners aren't doing that, then there must be an issue. I don't know what the issue is, but what I do think is the general tendency of corporations is you throw away your money to the investors, and the investors buy the index, and that's how they keep their economic wealth intact. And that's good for the investor, right? That's why Harvard Endowment and Yale and Harvard and all of these large institutions, that's why they have a 500-year life expectancy. They just buy a capital asset like real estate or equity. And the reason that your favorite company lives for 5 or 10 or 15 years and goes bankrupt is because they don't have any assets, right? It's like, again, I've said before, they're like type 1 diabetics, right? They can't store energy.
Michael Saylor just made an $835 million bet buying the Bitcoin dip. Right now, Bitcoin's fallen almost 40% off its October high, and the big money is buying the dip. What's your strategy? Now might be a great time to convert your IRA or 401k to Bitcoin with the help of Bit IRA. Plus, you can fund it with pre-tax funds, then continue to invest in it over time as you do any other retirement accounts. Bit IRA protects your assets with end-to-end insurance, highly secure storage, multi-encryption, and registered with the U.S. government. Your IRA is fully IRS compliant. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without incurring taxes on any buys or sells. Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Bitcoin has proven time and time again to rebound, every cycle going from a higher low to a higher high. With Strategy's latest purchase, Michael Saylor clearly believes Bitcoin is at a discount. Time for you to get into. Go to bitira.com/JLD to open a tax-sheltered IRA in Bitcoin. When you want more for your business, start with Northwest Registered Agent and get access to thousands of free guides, tools, and legal forms to help you launch and protect your business all in one place. Build your complete business identity with Northwest today. Your business identity is more than your logo or website. It's everything that defines who you are and how you operate, from what your customers see to what they don't, like operating agreements, meeting minutes, and compliance paperwork. With Northwest, you'll get more for your business, more privacy, more guidance, and more free resources than you'll find anywhere else. For nearly 30 years, Northwest Registered Agent has helped entrepreneurs form, grow, and protect their businesses. They're the largest registered agent and LLC service in America, powered by over 1,500 corporate guides, real people who know the local laws. It can help you every step of the way. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Visit www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free.
Bitcoin is insulin. It's insulin to the type 1 diabetic, right? If you're a company, you need Bitcoin. It's like your insulin. All of a sudden, you can store economic energy. You're not doomed to decapitalize yourself. Our company's raised a lot of money. We raised a ton of money via equity issuance, a lot of money by bonds, and in the last 12 months, we've really rotated to raising capital via preferred stocks and preferred credit instruments, and that has taken off. Now, what is the Treasury business model? We're really financial engineers, right? We engage in financial structuring or structuring we're a structured finance company, if you will. And what you can see here is the raw asset is Bitcoin. It's got a 51% ARR and a 43 vol over the past 30 days. If what you wanted was that, you could just buy it. But what we've done is we strip the volatility and the risk off of the asset. So we strip a bunch off with Strike down to 29, then 18, then 15. And Stretch, we stripped it down to 8% in the last 12 weeks. Stretch today, it's targeted at 100. It traded between 96 cents and 107 cents, but it's down to trading plus or minus 4 cents or 5 cents. If that trend continues, the vol on Stretch will go to 1 or 2. And so what we're really doing is stripping the volatility off of the pure economic asset. There's conservation of energy in the universe. Where does the volatility go? It goes to the equity. If I actually convert 50% a year performance into 11% performance, where's the extra performance go? Goes to the equity. So what we're doing is fairly elementary. We're just stripping the performance and stripping the volatility and stripping the risk, and the extra risk, the extra performance, the extra volatility goes to the equity. And that's why a business that has $70 billion in digital capital can create $3 billion of very, very low volatility credit. It's not that different, again, to take a barrel of crude oil and you take crude oil, if you distill it to the highest, most distilled form, you have kerosene. Kerosene is jet fuel. Kerosene is rocket fuel. Now I'm going to make a joke. If you study the history of science, it's full of examples of people that saw breakthrough technology, but they used the technology the wrong way because they were conventional thinkers. The idiom is repaving cow paths. It's like you invent concrete and you could create a 6-lane superhighway and the car could go 90 miles an hour. But instead, I take the concrete and then I put it over a cow path that was meant for a cow that moves 4 miles an hour. And now I've got a paved cow path where cows can now move 4.5 miles an hour. You got no benefit from the technology because you used it the wrong way. Now I'm going to give you an example here. John D. Rockefeller, distills kerosene, and you're in the horse and buggy business. So what do? Well, you create a kerosene lamp, and you put a kerosene lamp in the back of the horse and buggy so that your customers can travel across the country by horse and buggy with a kerosene lamp and read a book. Or you put a kerosene heater in the back of the horse and buggy, and you brag that now you've got a warmed horse and buggy and you won't be cold while you're in the horse and buggy. But a dude like Ford comes along and thinks, well, maybe we'll just create an automobile and we'll drive with gasoline. Or maybe Boeing comes along and creates an airplane and we just fly across the country. So there's a compelling thing to do with the kerosene, like rockets and jets. And there's gasoline and there's cars. But there's also the trivial application of the technology, which just makes the horse and buggy 1% better. And yet you'll have the greatest business people of the era made all their money with horse and buggies. And they're going to grab the kerosene, put a kerosene lamp in the back of the buggy, and they're going to declare that they've used the technology.
What's the second best? There is no second best.